It wasn't supposed to be like this. The managerial protege Xabi Alonso that broke football in Germany, returning to the club he once made history with as a player to usher in a new era post Carlo Ancelotti. Madridistas far and large couldn't have been more optimistic about this appointment. About the future of the club. Having seen Hansi Flick, a former Bundesliga star coach, immediately change the fortunes of a previously struggling Barca, leading them to a domestic treble, Alonso was expected to orchestrate similar success to bring tactical identity to a team struggling with structure of any kind. But as we all know, nothing is predetermined in football, and now just 6 months later, it's all over. Now, if you haven't been paying close attention to Madrid this season, you may be a little surprised to see him leave already. After all, Madrid are only 4 points shy of top spot in La Liga. They are expected to automatically qualify for the UCL round of 16. They've still got the Copa del Rey in the mix too. To part ways after a Super Copa defeat in Saudi Arabia seems to be rather extreme. But truth be told, the writing has been on the wall for some time now. Alonso tried to implement a radical shift in the player power dynamic within Madrid but was unable to exert authority or win over key figures within the dressing room. The unrelenting media cycle at Madrid then turned toxic rapidly, and the uninspiring performances on the pitch were only amplifying his woes. You see, a lot of voices are now coming out solely condemning the Madrid players for Alonso's demise, saying they alone are responsible for this debacle. Whilst there certainly is an element of truth to that analysis, that video of Mbappe pulling ranks over Alonso to scrap the guard of honor is telling. Alonso looked defeated in that moment. But I think people are also forgetting about the real flaws of Alonso's tenure. Because for someone that should have had a great understanding for the Galactico dressing room, he struggled to maintain any sort of harmony within the team. The obvious example is the highly publicized spat with Vinicius Jr., an issue that was never really resolved. The fact that Vinicius Jr. then went unpunished only undermines Alonso's leadership further. But Vinicius alone wasn't responsible for the squad dissatisfaction that was heavily reported. Now, if Madrid's performances were showing real signs of progress, then maybe more of the players would have genuinely bought into his methods. But rarely did Madrid produce memorable displays. For large periods of this campaign, they have been an uninspiring watch, even when they were winning matches. Thierry Henry was vocal of Alonso's overemphasis on philosophy, as opposed to man management, suggesting he's coaching too much for some people and not managing enough. Gareth Bale, a former Galactico himself, echoed that sentiment, stating, "I think everybody knows at Real Madrid it's about managing players sometimes rather than just tactics." This may be a fundamental flaw of the club's ethos, that talent alone can only get you so far, but at the same time, this is a group of players that have repeatedly succeeded in the past. The only major difference now is the Mbappe factor. His arrival has been a bit of contradiction because while he's individually brilliant, those around him have dropped off considerably, and the team has arguably suffered. That was kind of the whole process behind Alonso's initial appointment. A structured tactician was required in order to succeed with such a star-studded ensemble in attack, but evidently that has not gone accordingly, with both parties mutually agreeing to go their separate ways. His fellow former player Alvaro Arbeloa has swiftly been appointed as their new manager, which has raised many eyebrows. He was only appointed as manager of RM Castilla, which competed in Spain's third tier back in May. But internally, he has been highly rated at Madrid for some time now. And remember, Zidane famously took over from Madrid's B team and went on to win 11 trophies. I'm not suggesting that Arbeloa is the second coming of Zidane in management. I'm just saying don't write him off straight away. I'm interested to see what's next for Alonso though. I still think his reputation is exceptionally high. Ancelotti is really gonna have to lock in until the end of this season for Liverpool, because the player dynamic of this club is far more aligned to Alonso's approach of management.